Hey Betsy, so I'm gonna jump right into a food log and go over a few things. Good job on logging more of your foods this week. You don't have to do it every single day, but the more you do it, even if you just do your breakfast or your lunch or half the day on some days, you'll be able to see if like where your fats are at. And that's basically one of the main things you want to focus on is, did I place a ton of my fats into my breakfast and lunch, and how do I navigate the rest of the day accordingly so I don't go over. But also, the main thing you want to focus on is also hitting your protein. So typically when people start out, they have lower protein and their fats are just a little bit over of what they should be. Your fats are pretty good. They're not majorly over. So they're around where they should be. Your carbs are around where they should be, but your protein is low. So, but that's totally normal. That's where everybody starts out, is low protein. So that's why in that first module, I talk about just focusing on how to hit protein in a day. And think of it as like simplify it in your head as just saying, okay, I want to add in 5 to 6 protein servings in my day. So as you go through the day, you could even make a little checklist on a little Post-it or in your phone. Like say you had a serving, 2 servings of egg whites and two whole eggs. That would be like 2 to 3 servings of protein right there. Egg whites in the carton are extremely high protein, and you can put a lot in your pan and cook eggs and have a lot of protein in there. So I usually add like 1 to 2 whole eggs, and then I'll add the egg whites from the carton, and you'll have a ton of protein in just that one meal. But as you go through the day, you'll just kind of jot down, okay, I've already had 2 servings of protein. For your lunch, say you had 4 ounces of chicken, that's another serving of a protein dense item, and so on and so forth. You'll go through the day and just kind of do that. And you can even do it in your head. Just, as you go through the day, you just kind of know by visually looking at your foods. But aim at about 6 servings of protein dense items in your day. And be sure to look at the little food chart that I have sent you. I can resend it to you. It basically just breaks down high fat proteins and low fat proteins, like 0 fat proteins. So if you know that you're really close to going over your fats, but you're still under protein, you wouldn't choose a higher fat protein. So you would choose a lower fat protein, like something lean, like yogurt or chicken, protein shake, etc. Okay, so your goal macros are at the top, and I want you to hit around 1,700 calories. And that is with a macro split of about 130 grams of protein, 175 grams of carbs, and 58 grams of fat. And assume that a protein dense serving is about 13 to 30 grams of protein, depending on the item. It'll range from 13 to about 30 grams, depending on what type of protein source you're going at. So, for example, a yogurt is about 12 to 15 grams per serving, and chicken is about 4 ounces, is about 30 grams. And then you have like your red meats, which are higher protein, but they're also higher fat. So let's jump right in towards the bottom half, where I have the green writing. You'll see my notes. So what I'm showing is your food log from, I can't remember which day this is, but I wanted to go over this one because it was a perfect opportunity it was from Thursday, to show you just basically what to add in and sort of rearrange in your day. So you don't necessarily want to cut anything out. It's more so just adding in a few things and moving things around. So let me show you what I mean by that. So your breakfast. Okay, so I noticed that your breakfast is very low calorie and simple. So something like egg whites is just going to be a protein source. And with that, you're going to be really hungry shortly after, and you're not going to be full for a long time because you're just having protein. So it's good that you're getting egg whites in, but honestly, you could have 2 whole eggs and add egg whites to it and have some fruit with it. And that would be a balanced full breakfast with carbs, fats, and proteins. And you would be full for hours. So that's what I suggest with your breakfast. So always think about having proteins, carbs, and fats. And that's a perfect example is the eggs with egg whites to add more protein, and a fruit source, which is a 0 fat carb, because you already have some fats from your eggs. And then yeah, that would be perfect. You could even add in a piece of toast if you wanted to, if you wanted something more. So your lunch was your biggest meal. It was your most caloric dense meal in your day. And that's totally fine. You can have 3 meals in a day. You could have 5, you could have 6. It doesn't matter how many meals or the times of them. It just matters if you're getting in the right macros within all of those meals within your calorie bracket. So one thing you could have done to just tweak this a little bit is, instead of having the bread, which I know we all love bread when we go out to dinner, but sometimes we have to do a little bit more work in the beginning to do less later on, but you could have had your whole dinner, and that is a big serving of food in one meal. So you could have done without the bread and just more so thought about placing that bread that you had and not having it, and placing it into your breakfast with like a piece of toast. So that would have kept you fuller for longer. So, actually that was your lunch, sorry. But either way. So I'm sure you were pretty full from your lunch for a long time because it was high calorie. So what you could have done is definitely have that popcorn later on, and you could have added in your protein, one more protein source that you fell short of. So, and I would have made it a leaner choice because your fats were already where they should be. So, adding in something like cottage cheese or a protein shake without adding anything to it, without adding any fruit or peanut butter or anything to it, just the protein itself. So it's a lean protein intake. And that would have been perfect. So just simple things to see and learn about and consciously know throughout the day to do. Sometimes we might be getting in a protein source at the end of the day or the middle of the day that we don't necessarily love or want, but it's what we need. So I always try to say, make one to 2 of your protein intakes higher protein, just like the egg whites with the eggs. That's a big bulk of protein in one meal. So to recap that, you would have simply just added in, for example, two eggs, added egg whites to that, and had some fruit with it. You would have been full for hours. And for your lunch, kept it the same, just minus the bread, because you were sort of placing that bread into your breakfast, those calories. So you're just kind of rearranging where you had your carbs. And it would have been more beneficial for your breakfast and kept you fuller for longer and more fueled in energy, which is super important. And that late night snack, well, I shouldn't say late night, but it was, around 8 o'clock. Your snack, you could have kept that, but just added in a lean protein source with that. So this is going to maximize results. This is going to give you more energy. You're going to feel better. And the only thing I want to know is what you're eating before and after a workout. So with that first module, that protein module, it also talks about the foods to eat before and after a workout, which is really important for maximizing results, and also how you feel with being fueled. And obviously when you're more fueled during a workout, you do the workout better, your performance is better, and you're literally not shaking and starving and feeling like you're going to pass out after because you're properly fueled. So let me know that too, because that's what we're working on right now is protein intake, hitting the right protein mark in a day, and just what to eat before and after a workout. And that's all I want to focus on for right now. So let me know if this helps. I hope this helps. I just wanted to keep it simple with one food log feedback assessment, and then I want to do another one on Monday. So I'm going to do one again shortly, but I want you to absorb this. Let me know if something is confusing or just doesn't make sense. I'll go over it again. But on Monday, I want to do another one because you've been doing so good with logging your foods. I want to show you multiple examples of your day's worth of eating, because not every day is the same with our foods. A lot of days are repetitive with what we eat, with the foods that we eat, which is totally normal. It's just sometimes we eat differently. So I want to show different scenarios and different ways of what you could have added in and how you fell short or went over or whatever the case was, and visually showing you. So ultimately, the goal is for you to navigate your day intuitively, knowing these things in your head. And it's not going to be something like a plan that you're following or something that you feel restricted or like a robot with. You're just knowing where you're at as you go through the day and being more conscious of what you need to do. Like, okay, at the end of the day, like say you had dinner and you've had a ton of carbs and fats already. You're probably going to have a leaner dinner with more protein if you fell short of protein, and you're not going to have a high fat, high carb dinner. You're going to have a pretty moderate, leaner, high protein dinner. So that's the goal for doing these food log assessments. So little by little, you'll understand and realize more, and you'll navigate your day better and better as we go through this and do this more and more. I like to do these once a week, but I might do them twice a week for you. Just keep it like short and sweet and simple. Just because we're kind of behind on everything, and I want you to absorb and learn as much as you can. So yeah, let me know if this helps, and we'll talk soon.